Hey guys, today I'm talking about fragrances and I'm going to be sharing with you 5 mind-blowing fragrances for the fall season. I'm extremely excited about this video because fragrances is one of my favorite topics and I really love chatting about fragrances. I don't know if I mentioned before in my previous videos, but actually I was not that much into makeup and I started using makeup actually quite late in my mid-20s, but I was always into fragrances. Ever since I was a little girl, fragrances were absolutely my thing. So this is something that I consider even more special than makeup. It was very hard to choose only 5 fragrances to show you. However, I tried to choose different fragrances. So in this video, you're not going to see the typical, very warm, soft, sweet fragrances that everyone tends to wear during the fall season. I'm going to show you that kind of fragrances, but I'm also going to show you different fragrances that I like to wear during the fall season. And I'm just going to mix it up a little bit so that I can show fragrances that a lot of people are going to like. So let's go ahead and get started. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And please consider subscribing at the end of this video. I really appreciate that. And leave me a comment at the end of this video. Let me know what is your favorite fall fragrance or fragrances. And the first fragrance that I'm going to show you is one of the diamonds in my whole fragrance collection. And a lot of you are not going to be surprised because I've already shown this fragrance, and this is Allure by Chanel, Eau de Parfum. It was created by Jacques Pollock, and I think that this is one of the most beautiful fragrances that was ever made. And let me go ahead and spray that. So this fragrance is incredibly complex yet perfectly balanced. It's soft, it's alluring, it's absolutely gorgeous and stunning. This is the fragrance of the elegant, confident and beautiful woman. When I imagine what a real lady would smell like, this is definitely the fragrance. It's so classy and elegant. It's very soft. It's nothing too harsh. It's nothing too strong. The notes in this fragrance are quite unique, and this is the only fragrance that it doesn't have a distinctive top notes, heart notes, and base notes because all of the notes are dancing together. And it starts with a fresh citrus opening. There is a little bit of peach, which brings the softness, and I can feel a little bit of vanilla. But then very quickly, I can feel also the flowers. I can feel the jasmine, the rose, the peony. And then again, I can feel the citrus flowers. I feel like this fragrance smells different every time when I spray it on my skin. And this is a fragrance that develops differently on different skin types. I feel like brands don't make such complex fragrances anymore because probably it's too hard to create such a fragrance, but this is one of the most beautiful fragrances that was ever made. Let me show you a quick close-up of the bottle. So it has vanilla, jasmine, rose, magnolia, vetiver. It's like a bouquet of flowers. It has lotus and peony, and the combination is absolutely amazing. I think that this is a fragrance that you should just spray on your skin, wait for a few hours and just enjoy and see how this is going to develop on your skin because it is one of the most exceptional fragrances. Like, this is the fragrance that a real lady would wear. And I think that this fragrance is a great investment because a little goes a long way. This is a very, very long-lasting fragrance. But at the same time, what I like about this fragrance also is that it smells good from the very beginning to the very end of the fragrance. So next, again, is a Chanel fragrance, which is quite new actually. And this is 1957 by Chanel. And this fragrance is quite new and is part of the exclusive Chanel collection, so you can only find it at Chanel. So here I have a very luxurious sample and I also have another sample. I'm going to show you this one. This is very interesting. For those of you who are shopping at Chanel boutiques, you might ask for such a sample of your favorite fragrance because it is very luxurious and it looks very, very cute. I'm going to show you a close-up right now. Okay, here we go. So I'm sure you're all wondering why I only have a sample size, and this is because I purchased this fragrance right after it was released, but there was a very Very nice, very sweet young lady who is in her early 20s and she loved this fragrance. She's a friend of mine, so I decided to give it to her right after I purchased it. She visited me at home and she fell in love with this fragrance. And I think that you all know how hard it is sometimes when you're in your early 20s to afford luxurious fragrances and luxurious makeup. So I was happy to give it to her because I'm sure that she enjoys this fragrance a lot more than I would do, and I would purchase another bottle anyway. So let me go ahead and spray this. So this fragrance is exactly what Chanel stands for, and this is elegance and simplicity. This is simple and very, very elegant. It's a combination of 8 white musks, and this makes the fragrance incredibly sophisticated and elegant. And if I have to be honest, I think that this is definitely not a fragrance for a girl in her early 20s, even though my friend loved it, which proves that we all have different tastes in fragrances. But I would say that this is more the kind of a fragrance for a woman rather than a girl. But everyone has different taste in fragrances. But I would definitely say that this is a fragrance for a woman. In my opinion, of course, my 20-year-old friend loved this fragrance. So let me show you this cute little bottle. So 1957 was a very important year for Chanel, and this was the year when Chanel received the Neiman Marcus Fashion Award in Dallas, and this was the year when the talent of Chanel was recognized in the United States. So that's why 1957 is quite significant for the history of Chanel. Anyways, I'm not going to get any further. I will probably do a blog post dedicated to this fragrance because it is very exceptional. So this fragrance has bergamot, it has cedar, it has iris, honey, orange blossom. I like this fragrance approximately 40 minutes after spraying it on my skin. So you have to give this fragrance a little bit of time because it does develop, and also this is one of the fragrances that works with body chemistry, so this is going to smell different on different people, and keep that in mind. But I think that this is a very elegant, very beautiful and very simple fragrance. So I think that this fragrance actually is suitable also for the spring season, for the fall season. I think I wouldn't wear this fragrance during the summer because it has a lot of character. This is definitely a strong fragrance. Even though it's very simple, it's still a strong fragrance that I would say that probably a very confident woman would love. Next, we're moving on to a very happy, very girly, fruity, floral, kind of woody fragrance. And this is Dahlia Divine by Givenchy. So this is how the bottle looks. And it is a very, very sunny fragrance. And this fragrance was actually created by François de Manchy, who is the nose of Dior. And this is actually the nose who created all of the Miss Dior fragrances. So I really like most of his fragrances. Let me spray it. So this is definitely a very girly, very juicy fragrance. It starts with a fresh fruity opening. I can feel the plum. I can feel a little bit of blackcurrant, kind of a berry. This is a very, very sunny scent, which I think is very suitable for the fall season because it's still not winter, but it reminds me of a beautiful sunny day in the fall. But then what I like about this fragrance is also that it's not too fruity, it's not too delicious, because immediately I can feel the notes of jasmine and rose. And the jasmine balances the sweetness, so it's not too sweet, it's not too floral, it has patchouli also. And if you're a fan of Miss Dior Cherie, the fragrance that was discontinued, actually you might actually like this one. It's nothing like Miss Dior Cherie, but it has the same vibe. So if you were a fan of Miss Dior Cherie, you might also like this fragrance because also it has the rose, it has the jasmine, it has the patchouli, and it has the fruits. So it's a beautiful fruity floral fragrance. It's girly, but still it feels very elegant and very sophisticated. Next, moving on to a fragrance that is one of my signature fragrances for the fall and winter season, and this is Narciso Rodriguez. For her, this is the Eau de Toilette version, and I've already shown this fragrance. I think this fragrance is absolutely gorgeous for the fall season. Now, this is a fragrance that has a lot of character, and In the very beginning, when you spray this fragrance, it is quite strong, but then you have to wait approximately 30-40 minutes and it's going to become a lot softer. But this is definitely a very sensual fragrance. This is a musky fragrance combined with white flowers, and also this is a fragrance that develops on the skin. On my skin, I personally, after 1 hour after spraying this on my skin, I can feel a little bit of rose, even though rose is not listed as one of the notes. I can feel probably the notes blend in such a way on my skin that I can feel a little bit of musk and rose. But it's definitely one of the most beautiful fragrances. However, you have to give this fragrance a little bit of time to develop, because in the very beginning, when you spray this fragrance on your skin, it is going to be quite strong, because this is definitely a fragrance that has a lot of character. So it has musk, orange, amber, and vanilla. And the vanilla makes the fragrance quite soft. So I absolutely adore this fragrance, especially approximately 1 hour after applying this fragrance. It is heavenly beautiful. Moving on to the last fragrance, and this is by Lancôme, and this is Trésor Midnight Rose. Once again, this is not a new fragrance, but it is an all-time favorite. This is a fragrance that everybody loves, and this is one of the fragrances that boys and men absolutely adore. I don't know what it is about this fragrance, but I decided to show it to you because this is the fragrance that gets me so many compliments from men that it's one of the most complimented fragrances, and men absolutely adore this fragrance. This is a very soft, very delicious, I would say, fruity floral fragrance. Also, the packaging is very cute. Let me show you. So it has raspberry, blackcurrant. The heart notes are rose absolute and jasmine, and the base is vanilla and musk. And let me go ahead and spray this. And this fragrance is absolutely delicious. It's very girly, it's very beautiful fragrance. So I failed to mention one thing about each of these fragrances, and this is the longevity of the fragrances, because this is something very important when you're purchasing a fragrance, because some fragrances just last a lot longer. So let me go ahead and tell you about the longevity. So starting from Allure. Allure is a very long-lasting fragrance. It tends to develop, and it's like a winner when it comes to longevity. It lasts probably, for sure, it lasts more than 12 hours. So this is one of the most long-lasting fragrances that I own. Then moving on to 1957. 1957 is also a very long-lasting fragrance. Probably not as much as Allure, but it lasts a good 10 hours on the skin. Then Narciso Rodriguez is also a very long-lasting fragrance. Probably it lasts something like 6 to 7 hours on the skin. Then moving on to Givenchy. Now the Givenchy fragrance is also very long lasting, not as much as Chanel, but probably 5 hours. And then the Lancôme Trésor Midnight Rose lasts approximately 4 hours on the skin. So these were 5 of my all-time favorite fall fragrances. Please let me know in the comments below what is your favorite fall fragrance or fragrances, because sometimes I learn a lot of new things from you, and I love when you're sharing tips and information with me. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!